ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामे। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुगं करोति वाचालं पुंगं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनकारणं परमानन्दं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। So many of you already know about Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and he founded this movement in 1966. 1 year after he visited America in 1965. So it may appear that suddenly a person went to America and then suddenly everything started. So, but actually there is a background for this, starting from 500 years back, not just 500 years, 5,000 years back. It was predicted in the Shastras that this movement will be spread all over the world. So that prediction was already there, and that has come true now. So today we will see some of the predictions which were made by previous acharyas, some of the predictions given in Shastras, and some of the predictions given directly by the Lord himself, so that how this bhakti will travel all over the world, especially in the Western world. So that prediction has come true now. So I have a PPT which contains many statements. So are you able to see this? So this is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He has predicted in the magazine Sajjana Toshani. He says, soon there will be a time when chanting of Krishna's name will be heard in England, France, Russia, Germany, and America. So this Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicting in the 18th century. So even before anybody knew about Krishna in the Western world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted this. And he also says, and you'll see that has come true. You see this photograph, right? Soon there will be a time when the chanting of Krishna's name will be heard in England, right? I think there's a photo of England where devotees are chanting on the streets. In France, in Russia, Germany, and America. Basically all the European countries and American countries, it will be chanted. And not by Indians, it will be chanted by the Westerners. And you'll see in this photograph, Westerners chanting and dancing to the tune of Hare Krishna mantra. So you see in the Eiffel Tower, so this is Paris, Europe. So they're chanting Hare Krishna here. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur further says, very soon the unparalleled path of Harinama Sankirtan will be propagated all over the world. Oh, for that day when the fortunate English, French, Russian, German, and American people will take up banners, mridangas, and kartals and raise kirtan through their streets and towns. When will that day come? So basically, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is envisioning that all these people of these countries will raise their flags. And you will see in this photograph below that they're actually raising the flag or the banners of Hare Krishna mantra. And they're chanting and taking mridangas. You will see here the devotees are taking mridangas. They're taking kartals and chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So this prediction has come true, isn't it? The principle of Kirtana as the future church of the world invites all classes of men without distinction of caste, creed, or clan to the highest cultivation of the spirit. So it means that Prabhupada is predicting here that Kirtan will become the future religion of Kali Yuga, where everybody will chant Hare Krishna, despite of what religion they belong to, what caste they belong to, what creed, what nationality, it doesn't matter, what skin color. So everybody will take to chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, and this will become one religion throughout the world. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is using the word name church. Church means a place of worship. So in that sense, you have to understand this. So it will become one church all over the world, where people will take up to this Sanatan Dharma, and the religion will be chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. And now you can see that happening in every state, in every country, every city, people are chanting Hare Krishna. So recently I saw a video of Moscow, the temple in Moscow, where thousands of devotees have assembled and they're chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But if you see a couple of years, decades back, Moscow or Russia itself was a communist country, and nobody could practice any religion in that country. That was banned. And if anybody was found to practice any other religion, then they're persecuted, they're punished. To the extent that sometimes death penalty was also awarded. So that country where people are so atheistic, right? If some of you had attended the lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Vignan Goswami Maharaj telling that they were taught in the schools, God does not exist. God does not exist. They were brainwashed to believe in this, that God does not exist. They were forced to become atheists against their will. So that was happening in Russia. And now if you see, the same Russians, they are taking to Krishna consciousness so wholeheartedly, accepting it. And women wearing saris, men wearing dhoti kurta and chanting and dancing, wearing tilak on their forehead. So this is the real culture of Sanatan Dharma. So, and that has come true, isn't it? You see here, they're chanting. Yes. So this church will extend all over the world and take the place of all sectarian churches, which exclude outsiders from the presence of their mosque, church, and temple. So this was predicted in 1896 in the book Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, His Life and Precepts, page 62. It means that this Hare Krishna movement will accept everyone who has been rejected, right, by other religions. Even those people will take up to this Krishna consciousness. The example is the hippies. Hippies has rejected everything, but still they took up to Krishna consciousness. Yes, can somebody volunteer to read this quote? You can unmute and read this quote. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please, any one of you. Yes, as Harshav is raising the hand. Yes.
A personality will soon appear to preach the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and move unrestrictedly over the whole world with his message. In 1975 predicted.
1875.
1875.
Yes. So how many years back it is? It's almost 145 years back. This was predicted. Means he will move unrestrictedly all over the world. See, Srila Prabhupada traveled around the globe about 12 times. About something 14 times in 12 years. So that much traveling Srila Prabhupada did. So and nobody could restrict him. He went to America first, and from America he went to Europe, then he went to Japan, then Australia, then Russia, and then all the places in the world. So that much traveling Prabhupada did. Nobody could stop him. In fact, there is a video. Let me check if I can find it. where the journey of Prabhupada is made. Let me check if I can find it. Yeah, I got it here. So I will share the screen. So it's there on YouTube. You can get it. Are you able to see and hear this?
Yes,
Okay, Srila Prabhupada lives in India and now he's traveling. So you will find the year and the month below, and you will see that cursor going around in the globe. It means Prabhupada is traveling in those places. And the country where he visited the most, it will become darker and darker. Okay. So let's start again. Comes back to India, goes to America, goes to Canada, America again, and Canada, again America, then goes to Hawaii, then Germany, UK, USA, again Hawaii, comes to Japan, India, and goes to Malaysia, Australia, India, goes to Russia, France, America, UK. First time he goes to Africa, Kenya, again India, again Kenya, again India, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Japan, Hawaii, Mexico, USA. It goes on and on. India and America are the most visited places. Hawaii also Prabhupada goes many times. Hmm. Around 1975, Prabhupada is almost 79 years old, still traveling. South Africa, first time he comes, South Africa. Mauritius, Kenya, India, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Hawaii, So 1977 September, Prabhupada stayed. Yeah, so 12 times around the globe, 25 countries visited. You'll see the summary here. how many times Prabhupada visited different countries. So USA the most, and India in the last 12 years. So Prabhupada visited mostly America and India and other countries also. Right? Isn't it interesting? Such an amazing personality. Unrestrictedly, he was traveling all over the globe. Right? You can understand, like today someone was sharing, that we cannot understand what a Prabhupada underwent, because we don't know what it means to be 70 years old. When you meet a person who is 70 years old, he cannot do physically much because he is weak and he needs support of others. And it's a very difficult time actually for him to survive. Generally, they want to retire and relax. But here, Srila Prabhupada alone, he went to America at the age of 70. And then you see how much traveling he did with his disciples all over the world. So, and this was predicted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay. So now we'll read ahead. Now Prabhupada is traveling all over the world and preaching. Okay. Can somebody read this quote? I think Srivatsa had raised his hand. You can read now.
Can I prove?
Yes.
A personality will soon appear. Sorry.
Now, when will that day come?
Okay.
Are you able to see this?
Yes, prove.
Okay.
When will that day come when the fair-skinned foreigners will come to Sridham Mayapur and join with the Bengali Vaishnavas to chant Jaya Sachidananda, Jaya Sachidananda? When will that day be?
It's actually Jai Sachi Nandana. Sachi is the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sachi Nandana is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Sachi. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is again envisioning the time when foreigners will come and chant Hare Krishna mantra here. And that has come true. You see this is a real photo of Mayapur. You see above there is Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which is being constructed. And below there is this procession which is happening in Mayapur. Yes. Can someone read now this one? Yes. Who would like to read? You can raise your hand. Yes, Vijay.
Gaura Sandra will, in the fullness of time, raise up its preachers in every part of the world, and numbers amply sufficient for its purpose. The day is not far distant when the priceless volumes penned by Bhaktivinoda Thakur will be relevantly translated by the recipients of his grace into all languages of the world.
So this prediction was made by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Guru of Srila Prabhupada. So the day will come when the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur will be translated in all the languages of the world, and it's happening now. So we sing many songs written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we read many of his books written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, translated into many languages, and also commented by Srila Prabhupada. So we are reading those books. So that day has come, isn't it? Yes. Ebe nama sankirtana tikshna khadgalaya antra asura jivera filibe katiya. Yes, can somebody read this translation? Yes, Aniket.
Yes, Prabhu. Taking the sharp sword of the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, Nama Sankirtan, I will root out and destroy the demoniac mentality in the hearts of all conditioned souls.
Yeah, this is the reason of his descent in Chaitanya Mangala. In Chaitanya Mangala, it is written that generally a commander-in-chief will have a weapon, generally a sword. But the commander-in-chief of Chaitanya's army will not carry a sword in the hand. But on the other hand, he will carry mantra. Nama Sankirtana. And by taking that mantra, Lord will destroy the impurities in the heart or the demons in the heart. Because in Kali Yuga, people are already demoniac. So they are already dead in that sense. People do not have any sattva, they don't have any energy in Kali Yuga. So they're already as good as dead. So what is the use of killing the dead people? So Lord Chaitanya, instead of bringing a sword, he brought Harinam. And then by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, the asuras in the heart will be killed. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. They have to be killed. So this Commander-in-Chief of Lord Chaitanya's army, he will bring holy name all over the world. And that was made possible by Srila Prabhupada. So this is a continuation of the previous shloka. Yadi papi chhadi dharma dure deshayay mora senapati bhakta yaibe tathai. Yes, please read. Yes, who would like to read this quote? You can raise your hand. We want to give a chance to everybody in rotation, so you can get a chance to read. Okay, maybe Aniket can read. Aniket has not read. Aniket Shinde. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. If some sinful people escape and giving up religious principle go to far off countries, then my Senapati Bhakta will come at that time to give them Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. See, in the previous verse it was said, so Nama Sankirtana Tishna Khadgalai, so I will kill the asuras in the heart. But if some people escape Bharata, they go to foreign land, thinking that no, I don't want to become a devotee, I'll go to foreign land. What happens to them? Yadi papi chhadi dharma. Sinful people leaving this Sanatan Dharma, Dura Desh, when they'll go to Western world, Mora Senapati Bhakta, my commander, will come there and give you Krishna consciousness. And that was Srila Prabhupada. For the first, of course, before Srila Prabhupada, many other sadhus also went, yogis also went, but they didn't give bhakti. They gave yoga, but they didn't give bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada was the first person to introduce bhakti in such a very profound way all over the world. See, all the sinful people, they became devotees by chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is giving Diksha here in the photo below. They are doing Rath Yatras. Prabhupada is doing Kirtan in the park and is talking to his devotees. So very, very influential personality, Srila Prabhupada. Now there are other scriptural references also. Till now I discussed about Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's predictions. But even in the Vedic literatures, there is a prediction. So, idam sthanam parityajya videsham gamyate maya. I will leave this place, Vrindavana, and travel to the foreign lands. So this statement was made by Bhakti Devi. So you'll see this photo here. So Bhakti Devi, she came to Vrindavan and she was there with two children who had become old. And Narada Muni comes there and asks, hey, who are you? What happened? So you're a young lady, but you have two old children. What happened? So Bhakti Devi said that I was born in South India, and when I came to Middle India, I got nourished and I became strong and beautiful. But when I came to North India, people exploited me, and because of that, I became old. So then further I came to Vrindavan, and when I came to Vrindavan, I revived my youth. I became young again. But my two children, Gyana and Vairagya, they're still old. So then she requests Narada Muni, please give some solution, what I should do to make them young. See, in that conversation, Bhakti Devi says that people in India are not accepting me. Better I leave this India and go to foreign land so that I can live happily there. So Videsham Gamyate Maya. I will leave this place and Videsham Gamyate. I'll go to the foreign land. Idam Sthanam Parityaja. Giving up this Bharata. So let me check. There is power failure here. I'll change the network. Just bear with me for a minute. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, just give me a minute so that I change the network. Okay. So in that conversation, Bhakti Devi says that I'll go to foreign land. And that has become true now, that many people in the West are accepting Bhakti. So until Srila Prabhupada came to West, devotional service had never been successfully introduced in foreign lands. See here this photo where Prabhupada is going to America on Jalduta. He's getting down from Jalduta in Boston. And here you will see when Srila Prabhupada was traveling on the ship, Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. And Prabhupada got a dream that Krishna has come along with Dashawataras and is giving assurance. Don't be afraid. We are there with you. We will help you. And Srila Prabhupada, getting this assurance, he continued his journey to America. You see here Krishna is touching the head of Prabhupada in the dream. Yes. Can somebody read this?
We find the narration of the departure of Lord Krishna from this world and how all the holy rivers headed by personified beings just approached him.
When Krishna was leaving this planet, all the holy rivers approached. Bhagirathi Vacha, Bhagirathi means Ganga Devi says, He Natha Ramana Srestha Yasi Golokam Uttamam Asmakam Ka Gatihi Chatra Bhavishyati Kalo Yuge. Please read the translation. Yes, Vijay, you can continue. Hare Krishna, yeah. Vijay can continue reading.
Yeah, Prabhu. Ganga Devi said, O Lord, best of lovers, now that you are going to the supreme abode, Goloka, what will be our situation here in this age of Kali?
Yeah, she's thinking, she's scared. Krishna, when you're there, you're protecting all of us. But in Kali Yuga, people will be so sinful. What will happen to us? He Natha Ramana Srestha, Yasi Golokam, when you go to Goloka, Asmakam Ka Gatihi, what will happen to us? Hamara kya gati hoga? Atra Bhavishyati Kali Yuge, in Kali Yuga, what will happen to us? Please. So then Lord replies. He gives a very, very assuring answer. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kale Pancha Sahasrani Varshani Tishta Bhutale Papani Papino Yanti Tubhyam Dasyanti Snanataha. Yeah, please read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, sinful people will come to you and upon bathing will give you their sin. You must remain like this on earth for 5,000 years of the age of Kali.
Yeah. So sinful people will keep dumping all the sinful reactions up to 5,000 years. But after that, what will happen? Mantropasaka Sparshad Bhasmi Bhutani Tatshanat Bhavishanti Darshanakcha Snanat Evahi Janavi. Yeah, please read translation.
O Ganga, then there will be many devotees worshipping me and my mantra, and merrily by their touch, glance, and bathing, all those sins will be immediately burnt.
See, mantropasaka sparshad, by the touch of my mantra upasakas. Mantra upasaka means worshippers of the holy name, who is none other than devotees of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada, he went to America and he did a wonderful revolution of Hare Krishna mantra. And so many people started worshipping the Harinama. So sparshat bhasmi bhutani tatshanat. So in a moment, all the sins will be destroyed. Bhavishyanti darshanakcha snanat evahi janavi. By their darshan and by when they take bath in your waters, you will become purified. So this is given in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Krishna Janma Khanda, chapter 129, shloka 49 to 51. So this is the power of the devotees of the Lord, that they can purify the holy places. Tirthi Gurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabrata. Generally, people go and dump their sins in the holy places. They go to Tirth Yatra. Recently, there was what is it called? Kumbh Mela. So many people went. Why they go there? So that they can get rid of their sinful reactions and they can become purified. But here, it is said that Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Those people who go and deposit the sins, the holy places become burdened by that. So pure devotees, when they go there and chant Hare Krishna, then the holy places are also relieved of those sinful reactions. So there's the power of pure devotees of the Lord. Yeah, this is a very interesting quote. Can you please read this? Aniket was raising.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Aniket.
I am not a poor man. I am rich. There are temples in books. They are existing. They are there, but the time is separating us from them.
So this is to Mr. Rubain. He is telling subway conductor who met Prabhupada in 1965. So Mr. Rubain was a American. So in 1965, Srila Prabhupada was sitting in a park, and Mr. Rubain came and sat next to him. And Rubain asked, Swamiji, who are you? And Swamiji replied, actually, I am not a poor man. I'm rich.
A rich man.
I have thousands of temples, hundreds of temples and thousands of books distributed all over the world, but only time is separating. At that time, Prabhupada did not have even one center, nor he had any followers. So Prabhupada was alone. But Prabhupada is seeing the future, that in the future it is going to happen. And by the grace of Lord and my Guru, it is going to happen. So he had that faith actually. So Prabhupada with confidence, he said that I have thousands of disciples and millions of books being distributed and hundreds of centers running all over the world. So this was the confidence of Srila Prabhupada. He knew that it's going to happen. How exactly it's going to happen, he didn't know. So Prabhupada had faith that it's going to happen. So you see here, this is temple in Juhu, this is Vrindavan, this is Mayapur temple coming up, and so many books Prabhupada has written. Yes, can somebody read this? Who has not read till now? I think we can give chance to Nagaraj and Rakesh.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
And in my horoscope, it was written there, after the 17th year, this man will go outside India and establish so many temples. I could not understand. What is this that I have to go outside India? That is not.
Yeah. So Prabhupada, when he was born in 125 years back, 1896, the day after Janmashtami. So some Pandits, they came to check the horoscope. He checked the horoscope and they're surprised. Hey, this is amazing. This person after the age of 70 will travel all over the world. It was predicted actually. And he will establish temples around the globe. So that was a prediction made. And that's come true. So Prabhupada is telling this in June 17, 1977. Just few months before his departure. He departed in Kartik month. So just before that, Prabhupada is telling this to his disciples. So Prabhupada established temple here, and then here this temple. This is London Ishvara temple. Yeah. Can somebody read this quote now?
Prabhuji, can I?
Yes, Srivardhan, welcome.
Prabhuji, I joined late because I had another meeting of ISKCON only, Prabhuji.
Oh, wonderful. Everywhere there is ISKCON meetings. Okay.
My
Please read
Guru
this.
Maharaja foretold. He told my good brothers Sridhara Maharaja and others that he will do the needful when the time comes. Nobody requests to him to help him. He told in 1935, and after all that this was true. Guru Maharaja told, and in the beginning, first sight, he told, you have to do this.
Yeah. So this happened in, I think it's Bombay, where Srila Prabhupada was doing his pharmacy company. He was campaigning for his pharmacy and trying to establish a pharmacy in Bombay. And at that same time, some God brothers means disciples of the same group. So they were all there. So, and Prabhupada was helping them in establishing Matha also in Bombay. Although he was a Grahastha, he was giving his wealth, he was giving his money, and he was trying to establish the center in Bombay. So at that time, people recognized his talent and they said he should lead the temple, he should lead the center, he's very talented. So then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, when he came there, they proposed, why not Abhay lead the center? Because Prabhupada's name was Abhay Charan at the time. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, not now. When the right time comes, he will do everything. So Guru also predicted that in the future, he will do everything. Don't force him now, he said. Right? So, but in 1922, okay, the first meeting, you see this photo here, the first meeting between Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Abhay. In the first meeting only, Guruji had told Abhay that you should do this. You have to do this. Preach in English the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Prabhupada did it. At the age of 70, Prabhupada did it. So he didn't neglect the instruction. So this is another prediction given by his Guru. And now, till now we discussed about Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, but there are other sampradayas also. So this is called, from the writing of Namalwar. Namalwar is one of the famous alvars in the Sri Sampradaya in South India. He has written many verses called Divya Prabandham. So in that, there is one quote which says like this. Can somebody read this translation? Yes, you can unmute and read. Maybe Srivardhan can continue reading this quote. Srivardhan, are you able to hear us?
Can I, Prabhu?
Okay, Rakesh can read. I think Srivardhan has some problem.
Prabhu, are you able to hear me?
Victory.
No?
Oh, yes, we got you now. Please read.
Hare Krishna?
Yes, please read.
Okay, bro. The upper one or lower one, bro?
Lower one.
Victory, victory, victory. I behold something wonderful. All the inauspiciousness of the living entities is destroyed. No one is going to hell. Yamaraja has no more work, and effects of Kali Yuga cease to exist. This is because all over the world, an increasing number of Lord Vishnu's devotees sing his name while dancing and playing musical instruments.
So this is written in Tamil, so I don't understand Tamil. So that's why I can't read it. Anybody Tamil here? If somebody's Tamil, you can try to read this quote. But I'll not attempt. So here it is said that Shivardhan knows Tamil?
No, Prabhu, no, Prabhu.
No. Okay. So here it is said that a time will come. See, Namalwar was there before, like thousands of years back. So he has written this, that a time will come when Yamaraj will have no more work to do because people will be chanting Hare Krishna and nobody will go to Yamloka. Okay, this was predicted. So that time is going to come. It has not yet come. It's going to come when this Hare Krishna movement grows. Okay. So why this will happen? This is because all over the world an increasing number of Lord Vishnu's devotees sing his names while dancing and playing musical instruments. And that's happening now. Yes. Now can Nagaraj read this quote? This is from Sripad Ramanuja.
The pure devotion to Sri Hari, divide of karma and Chalana will grow and grow like banyan tree covering the whole world, teaching everyone who takes shelter.
So the pure devotion to Hari without jnana and karma will be taught. And Srila Prabhupada's main emphasis was that only. That one should be devoid of jnana karmadi anavritam. While practicing bhakti, bhakti should be pure. What is the meaning of pure bhakti? Pure bhakti means without any other motivation. What is other motivation? Oh, I want to achieve this. I want to achieve that. No personal agendas. It should be just to please Krishna. So that bhakti which is done just to please Krishna, that is called pure bhakti. So that pure bhakti is devoid of karma and jnana. Jnana tendency means what? I want to get more knowledge so that I become more intelligent and famous. So that's jnana tendency. Karma tendency means what? Oh, I'll do bhakti so that I can get some returns. For doing bhakti, I'll get some return. So like, some wealth or some material benefits. So that's called as karma. So Prabhupada taught the bhakti without tinge of jnana and karma. So that was predicted in Prapannamrita Tarpana by Ramanuja. Let's see about Madhvacharya. In Madhva Vijaya, it is Anumadhva Vijaya, it is written last chapter. Can somebody read this? Okay, maybe we can again rotate the cycle.
Yes, Prabhu.
Aniket. Okay.
The real knowledge of difference between Jiva and Sri Hari and the service of Sri Hari will spread all over the world very shortly. Indeed, this transcendental knowledge was spread all over the world by none other than Srila Prabhupada, coming in the line of Srila Madhvacharya.
So Madhvacharya, once he was carrying a stick in his hand, and then father asked, "What are you doing?" He said, "I want to preach Vaishnavism all over the world." And father said, "Impossible." So if this stick, the dry stick, grows into a tree, then only it is possible. Like that he commented, father commented. Immediately Madhvacharya put the stick in the soil behind the home. Instantly the dry stick became into a nice tree, and that tree is still there. So this was predicted by Madhvacharya also, that Vaishnavism will travel all over the world.
Prabhuji, can you re-explain it again? I had a glitch here.
Yeah, so when Madhvacharya was a small boy, he was carrying a stick in his hand, and he was telling, "I'll spread Vaishnavism all over the world. I'll spread Vaishnavism all over the world." And father saw him and said, "It's impossible. How do you think it will go all over the world? It's as good as saying that the stick will sprout into a tree. Only if the stick sprouts into a tree, then it's possible. Means it's impossible. How can a dry stick grow into a tree?" So, but Madhvacharya went behind the home and put the stick in the soil, and the dry stick sprouted and it became a tree. And everybody was amazed and understood that this is going to happen, that people all over the world will become Vaishnavas. Okay.
Yes,
If you go to Pajaka Kshetra near Udupi, the place is still there. The home of Madhvacharya, the 1,000-year-old, 800-year-old Madhvacharya's home is still there. And behind the courtyard, you can see the tree still present. Okay. So this is Bhavishya Purana. Can somebody read this quote? Maybe Shriyotsa can again start reading.
Okay, Prabhu. Am I audible?
Yes.
Lord Jagannath, the Supreme Lord, Sri Hari himself, spoke those attractive words for the welfare of all. The Mleches who are born from fixed countries ruled by descendants of Kashyapa demons, and the Shudras will become Brahmanas by initiation. They will wear Sikkas and Brahmana thread and will become well versed in the uncontaminated fruit of Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam. They will worship me by the yajna prescribed by the Lord of Lords, the protector of Sachi Devi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So this is in Bhavishya Purana Pratisarga chapter 20. So it means that even the demonic people, the Melichas means people who eat, who do not follow any rules and regulations, who eat flesh, they're called Melichas. So they will also wear Shika. They shave their head, they will have Shika and then Brahman thread, and they will become well versed in Srimad Bhagavatam. They may not know all the Vedas, but at least they will know Srimad Bhagavatam and they will worship the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, which is the yajna for Kali Yuga. So it is given in Bhavishya Purana also. And Vishnu Chitta, he is another Acharya. He says in Divya Prabandha. Can somebody read this?
May I
Yes,
propose?
Arshab. Yes, Arshab.
There will come a race which will tread the earth with raised hand and vertical tilak on their foreheads, who will chant the names of Hari. This will destroy the influence of Kali.
Yeah. So this prediction was indeed fulfilled by none other than Srila Prabhupada. You'll see this photo in Mayapur, where everybody is raising their hand and chanting, and they're treading the earth, they're walking around the earth, chanting the names of the Lord. In fact, there is one ISKCON Padayatra. ISKCON Padayatra devotees, they keep traveling constantly from one village to other. At every week, every few days, they're in a different village with bullock cart, carrying the Lord in the bullock cart and distributing books and doing kirtan. And they have traveled around India about 7 times, around India. 7 times they have gone. Prithvi Paryanta Yata Ache Deshagram Sarvatra Sanchara Hai Beka Morana. In every town and village of the world, the chanting of my name will be heard. The Chaitanya Bhagavata. So by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Yes, same quote. Yes, there is another quote by Narottam Das Thakur, who is a disciple of the Goswamis, Lokanath Goswami. So he is in the 1579 AD. He is writing to his Guru Jiva Goswami. Yeah, please read this letter. Okay, whose turn is it? I think Akshay can read.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can read this quote. I'll be back in a minute.
Yes, Prabhu. Until we are able to develop another type of technology to print the books, due to the difficulty involved in creating books by hand, which is being neglected, most of our book distribution program will be postponed. We are sure that one day some magnanimous person will come and will develop the movement of ecstatic love of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributing books all over the world. Until then, what we will be persons who are poor, bereft, and abominable do.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So in this quote, it's mentioned that Narottam Das Thakur, he's telling that we need more technology to print books. Because in that time, writing books means what? They have to take the original leaf and copy it in the next leaf with pen and ink and inscribe it and then preserve it. Like this, they have to write entire book by hand. There is no printing technology available at that time. Narottam Das Thakur was disciple of Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami had other two disciples, Shyamananda Pandit and Srinivas Acharya. So Jiva Goswami had told these three disciples, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya, that you should distribute these books all in different areas like Bengal, Orissa, Bangladesh. So they went to different cities and they're distributing. But it was too tedious. No? They were inscribing and then distributing hardly few sets in a year. And they have to send the reports to Jiva Goswami that this year we distributed this many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, and he's predicting that in future, somebody will come and he will spread this message. He will revolutionize book distribution. And Srila Prabhupada did it. In fact, Srila Prabhupada established an institute called Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. It's a trust. And Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, till now, they have distributed more than 53 crore books all over the world. So a massive book distribution of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam done. Actually, ISKCON is one of the biggest distributors of Vedic knowledge all over the world through Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Yeah, so these are some of the, so Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya also tells the story of how bhakti can be revived in Kali Yuga through recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan and came to America, it is significant that his only possession was a trunk containing first volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's all. And when Prabhupada went to America, he had no money. He had just 40 rupees in his pocket, and which Prabhupada did not use. Prabhupada says in one lecture that I brought this 40 rupees back because in America, rupees is useless. You need dollars. So Prabhupada brought back those 40 rupees and he used it for a taxi. When he came from Delhi to Vrindavan, he used it for a taxi. So Prabhupada had no money, but he had 200 Bhagavatam, first canto Bhagavatam that he carried. And Prabhupada had faith that these books will create revolution. And that happened. People took Bhagavatam, they read Bhagavatam, and their life got revolutionized. Okay. So Prabhupada also did many wonderful services, actually. So what I shared today in the PPT was just a glimpse of it. And if you want to know more about Srila Prabhupada, there is a book called Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada, Leelamrita. It's available online also. If you go to vedabase.com, so there you can get Leelamrita full. So where it's the life of Srila Prabhupada, starting from his birth in 1896 till he departed in 1977. So Prabhupada's life is described. So it's very inspiring book. Some of you who like to read, it will be a wonderful book to read. Okay, has any one of you read Leelamrita here in this audience? Okay, not yet. Okay, maybe you can read. We'll share the link. Yes, Aniket?
I've read few chapters.
Few chapters. Okay. So actually there is two versions. One is a condensed version and there is full version. Condensed version is just one volume and there's a full version which is about 7 volumes. So like 7 volumes, about 200, more than 200 pages each. So very extensive book. People have, his disciples have written all the stories, what all the travels and preaching endeavors which Prabhupada did in his books. Very nice, interesting, like a story, but you learn a lot of lessons and it helps us to become more committed and dedicated in our spiritual life by seeing the life of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So the Leelamrita, maybe we will share the link. Let me open it. If you can find it here, I can share the link and you can read it. Prabhupada Leela Amrita is there. So I'll tell our duties to share this link in the group also. So Prabhupada Leela Amrita. Some of this link is showing only 2 volumes, but there are actually 7 volumes. Okay. And if you want to order, you can order it hard copy also. It's available in all the temples. Okay. Yes. And some more contributions which Prabhupada did, I'll just share 1 or 2 more. One thing is he challenged materialism and he challenged scientific community also. Okay. So scientific community challenged by refuting Darwin. If you read Prabhupada books, wherever the topic of creation comes, he will refute the theory of Darwin. That Darwin says that life came by chance. But how can life come by chance? Life comes from life. Life doesn't come by chance, not accidentally. Like even chemicals come by life. Chemicals cannot produce life. Like for example, lemon tree is there. So lemon tree is living. There is life in the lemon tree. That's why it can produce citric acid and produce fruits containing citric acid. But citric acid cannot produce lemon tree. Reverse is not true. So life produces chemicals and life produces life. The lemon tree has got life. Lemon tree produces fruit which has seeds, and those seeds when you sow, again it produces a tree. So life comes from life. We cannot manufacture a seed in the laboratory and give life to it, isn't it? So life comes from life. So Prabhupada was very heavy on this. And in fact, he challenged even the biggest scientists and argued with them to establish that life comes from life and all life comes from the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the source of all life. Aham Adirhi Devanam. I am the beginning of all the devatas, Bhutanam cha Sarvasha, and for all the living entities. And he also says, Aham Bija Pradah Pita. I am the seed giving father of all the living entities. So in this way, Prabhupada very clearly established to the scientific community that life comes from life. And another thing Prabhupada very strongly spoke was that sense gratification is detrimental for our spiritual progress. So one should avoid sense gratification. And he very clearly said that one should avoid these 4 things. No meditating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. No meat eating including eggs, fish and meat. Very specifically Prabhupada used to say. Because nowadays people consider egg also to be vegetarian. Prabhupada said no, egg is also non-vegetarian. And then no illicit sex, then sex before marriage and sex outside of marriage, having extramarital affairs. Prabhupada discouraged this. Yes, married life is allowed. And one can have, one can utilize this sex life to produce Krishna conscious children. So, but Prabhupada was against illicit sexual activities. And then thirdly, Prabhupada said, one should not do intoxication. Intoxication means drinking, alcohol, smoking, and even tea and coffee are also addictions. And even Coke, which is also addictive. So Prabhupada said that one should avoid such intoxicants. And finally, gambling. Gambling means going to casinos or lottery.
Even coffee and tea.
Yes, intoxication includes coffee and tea. Because coffee and tea contain addictive elements like cocaine is there. Caffeine is there in coffee. So that is addictive.
So what about fruit juices?
What about?
Fruit juices.
No, they are not addictive. Fruit juices can be taken. And those elements which have, like even chocolate has cocoa. So that is addictive because children, once they start eating, they want more and more and more. They cannot stop eating chocolate because it's an addictive element. So that addiction element is intoxication. So that's why one should avoid that. So Prabhupada said that one should avoid these things. But one can drink herbal tea, herbal coffee, like they make dhania coffee, dhania tea. So that kind of things can be, or ginger tea. they can be taken, they're healthy. So whatever is required for health, like now it's cold is increasing in Bangalore because raining continuously, and also weather is changing, people are getting cold symptoms and all. So what one can do, one can take herbal tea, herbal coffee, and which is healthy for the body and it's not intoxicating. Okay. Is it clear, Vijay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So Prabhupada very clearly defined what is to be done and what is not to be done. So he told chant Hare Krishna and follow these regulative principles, then we can advance quickly in bhakti. But if we don't follow these regulative principles, chanting will also be ineffective. Right? We'll see that some people keep chanting one round of Hare Krishna for 1 year, 2 years. They're not increasing. It means what? Why they're not increasing? Because their addictions are there. Some addiction is there in either of these four, which is not allowing them to increase further. Okay. So one should give up these bad habits, and then you can see that you'll progress. And what is the index of progress? The index of progress is how many rounds of Hare Krishna I am chanting. Right. So one should chant more and more Hare Krishna mantra. Then that is a sign of progress. Generally, we chant about 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. So Prabhupada recommended that one should chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. And he promised that anybody who does this, I'll take you back to God. He should do it throughout his life, then he'll take him back to God. So Prabhupada said 16, but initially it may not be possible for beginners. Some people do also. Some people immediately start chanting 16 rounds. So it's because of their previous Sukriti. But if it's not possible, then one should do, 1 round, and 2 rounds, and 4 rounds, 8 rounds. Then slowly you can come to 16 rounds gradually. So that gradual progress is possible. Right? So one should never be satisfied that, no, I'm chanting this many rounds, I'm happy. No, one should not be satisfied with spiritual progress. One should keep on increasing his commitment to Krishna, slowly. And how will you come to know? When you feel that I'm comfortable, chanting 2 rounds is comfortable for me, no, then jump to 4 rounds. And time is there. We have a lot of time also. Generally, the time gets wasted in sleeping. Some devotees confess also that when I have free time, I sleep. Because sleeping time is converted to chanting time. Or some people waste their time in social media, browsing internet or YouTube and this and that. So that time can be converted to chanting time. Right? Anyway, it's waste time. So better use it in chanting or reading Leela Amrita or Bhagavad Gita. So in that way, you will see that all the wasted time will get converted into Krishna conscious time. And you'll feel happy because you're not wasting your time. When you waste time, you feel morose. Oh, I wasted my time. There's some lamentation comes in the heart. But when you are using all the time meaningfully, you will feel happy and satisfied. So we should try to cultivate this habit of utilizing our every moment in the service of the Lord. So that comes a practice. Okay. Yes.
Prabhuji, you told 16 rounds, right? Should we chant it continuously or morning half, evening half? Like, it can be divided.
Yeah, so you can do it in splits also. Best is together. I personally try to chant in the morning only. Before 7:30, I try to finish my chanting in the morning, because daytime chanting, a lot of distractions will be there. Phone calls keep coming. People want to talk, and there's so much work to do also. So best is morning time when there's no distraction. Ideal is morning 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So in that time, if you can finish your chanting, that's best. But in case it is not possible, one can begin with, do some 8 rounds in the morning, 8 rounds in the evening. So one can start at least, and gradually Krishna will help you to make your schedule comfortable so that you can chant in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Prabhu,
Right now you're chanting how many rounds, Vijay?
Prabhuji, like sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. I don't have a proper number. But I try as much as I can.
Okay, but you can fix a basic minimum number, like LCM, lowest common factor, that much you can fix. So like 4 rounds. Okay, I'll never go below 4 rounds. That much we should fix. And then and whenever possible, you can do more also. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. Yes, Aniket has some question.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, how to be consistent in doing chanting? Like sometimes we do 16 rounds, but I every day do 16 rounds, but sometimes I feel like not sitting in chanting, I walk in chant. And like I don't feel that consistency, like that. I don't have that perseverance currently. So how to build that? After a long period of time, we don't we lose that perseverance, right?
Mm. So generally that when you start developing taste in chanting, you'll feel like doing it more and you'll feel like doing it more attentively. So especially the taste in chanting will come when you chant with devotees, in the association of devotees. Mm. So when you chant alone, yeah, that's good. But when you chant in association of devotees, it's better. Because you are seeing others chanting, okay, they'll inspire us to chant better. And that whole vibration is full sattvic. Generally in our bedroom and all, the atmosphere is more tamasic. We are sleeping there and we are doing other work there. It's more of a tamoguna atmosphere. In tamoguna atmosphere, when you chant, we feel drowsy, we feel lazy. So that kind of attention doesn't come. But when you chant in a temple hall where you can see the Lord, Tulsi is there, and then incense is burning and there's lamp burning. So it's very, very good way, good place to chant Hare Krishna mantra. And so many other devotees are also chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So that synergy builds up. So if sometimes you can visit a temple and chant with devotees in the morning, that will be best. Like so many of the devotees had come here to temple. Many people came. They stayed here for 5 days. Before Janmashtami, they came, and then they stayed after Janmashtami also. And many of them had a very good experience that they got up early in the morning and they took baths. They came for Mangalarti, and after Mangalarti, they were sitting together and chanting. It's a very good experience. Generally, they could chant 4 rounds or 6 rounds at home, but here they could easily finish 16 rounds because everybody's doing it. So it flows. Very easily you can do it. Right? So sometimes coming to such association inspires us, and then that enthusiasm can last for some more time even when you're at home. Okay, Aniket?
Yes, Prabhu, sure. I will try to reach out to devotees.
Yes, you can reach out. You can talk to Vikas Pro also. He can help you. Okay. Now, Arshab is telling, Prabhuji, can you listen to Kirtan while doing exercise? Yes, you can listen to Kirtans, no problem. Like sometimes you go for walking or jogging, doing exercise, or even while eating. You can play Kirtan, you can keep hearing, it's not a problem. But one should not avoid chanting on beats while doing all these things. One can keep chanting Hare Krishna in the mind, or one can hear the Kirtans. So that's perfectly all right, not a problem. Yes. Any other questions?
Yes, Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes.
My question is that, Prabhu, what will exactly happen after Kali Yuga, when Kali Yuga will end after 4,28,000 years from now?
So at the end of Kali Yuga, it is said that Kalki Avatara will come. So Kalki will come at the end of Kali Yuga and he will destroy everybody, all the sinful people, sinful kings on this planet. He will destroy all of them. And then the Yuga will change. Kali Yuga will end and Satya Yuga will start. So the Lord will make arrangements in such a way that Satya Yuga like atmosphere is created. So where everything will be pure and clean and people will be more sattvic. So that kind of environment is created. And then sattvic people will take birth and Satya Yuga will start. So that's what is going to happen at the end of Kali Yuga.
Okay, Prabhu.
So this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, last canto. Canto 12, chapter 2. Yeah. See here, 12 to 18. Lord Kalki will appear in the home of most eminent Brahmana of Shambhala village, the great soul Vishnu Yasa. So the name of the village and the father's name is also mentioned. Okay. Lord Kalki, the Lord of the universe, will mount his swift horse Devadatta and sword in hand travel over the earth exhibiting his 8 mystic opulences and 8 special qualities of Godhead. Displaying his unequaled effulgence and riding with great speed, he will kill by the millions those thieves who have dared dress as kings. Okay, so he will destroy all the sinful civilization. After all the impostor kings have been killed, the residents of the cities and towns will feel the breezes carrying the most sacred fragrance of the sandalwood paste and other decorations of Lord Vasudeva, and their minds will thereby become transcendently pure. When Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears in their hearts in this transcendental form of goodness, the remaining citizens will abundantly repopulate the earth. When the Supreme Lord has appeared on this earth as Kali, the mentor of religion, Satyuga will begin and human society will bring forth progeny in the mode of goodness. And that time is also mentioned when the moon, the sun, and Brihaspati are together in the constellation Karkata. And all three enter simultaneously in the lunar mansion Pushya. At that exact moment, the age of Satya or Kruta will begin. So this is all predicted in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay.
Prabhuji, one more question.
Yes,
Is there
Aniket.
any calculation about Mahavishnu that he will again breathe in and take all the Brahmans into him?
Yeah, for that, there's still a lot of time remaining.
Okay, Prabhu. At also that time is that time called as Pralaya?
That's Mahapralaya, when everything is destroyed. No more universe exists, no more Brahma exists. Everything goes into the body of Mahavishnu.
And again, when he will breathe out, that everything will come out again.
Yeah, again the universes will manifest, again Brahma will manifest. And again the creation will happen, the living entities will get bodies. So when the whole creation enters, whole material world enters into Mahavishnu, then Jivas also enter into Mahavishnu. And they're lying down in a susupti, like a deep sleep, like hibernation. They all go into hibernation. Till again Mahavishnu exhales and again the universes are created. Okay.
But unfortunately, Prabhu, we will not be there to see that.
Yeah, you cannot. You want to go ahead, so you'll go back to God before that.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's good. If you take birth again, then you have to see Mahapralaya. So better go back to God. Okay.
Prabhuji, when will Mahapralaya happen? Then when will Kalki Avatar come?
So Kalki Avatar comes in this Kali Yuga only. Okay, we are talking about the end of the universe, which is long time. Brahma lives for 100 years. Now there's the 51st year of Brahma going on. And one day of Brahma has got 1,000 yugas. 1,000 cycle of yugas. Okay, one cycle is...
So 1,000 into 4 cycles.
1,000 into 4, that's one day of Brahma. Okay. So like this, Brahmaji lives for 100 years and this is the 51st year going on. So it's a long time for Mahapralaya that to happen. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Chetan is asking, is Punarjanma real? Please explain the process. Yeah, Punarjanma is real. If you have attended this session, Discover Yourself or Mantra of Life, the first session is about soul. And we explained that soul transmigrates from one body to another body. So the body changes, but the soul does not change. Like you have one flat, you are staying in one flat. So when the flat becomes old and broken, you vacate that flat and go to another flat, depending upon how much money you have got. So that's called relocating. Similarly, Punarjanma, reincarnation. When the body becomes old, the soul cannot see through the eyes, he cannot eat, he cannot hear. So body is old. So what soul does? He quits this body and he goes to another body, which is given to him according to his karma. Okay, depending on what kind of activity he has done, he'll get a next body. If he has done good activities, he'll get a good body, maybe human body. But if he has done sinful activities, he may get an animal body. Okay, so this science of reincarnation is there. So if you have not heard that lecture, you can hear it. Chetan, have you heard this lecture? The science of soul?
Yes, but still I have some doubts that the process.
Okay. Yeah, the process is what? Shrotram Shakchu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Graname Cha Indriyani Manaschayam Vishan Upasevate. So it is said that the soul is covered by the subtle body and gross body. So subtle body is consists of mind, intelligence and ego, and gross body is senses. So when the soul is quitting, what happens is the soul, when he goes, along with the soul, the mind also goes, and the senses, the subtle senses also go along with the soul to the next body. And the gross body is here only, and it is burnt or buried. So that sukshma transmigration happens. So because the mind and the subtle body is same, in the next life also, the person will have same traits. Like if he was sinful here, he will have that sinful tendencies in the next life also. If he was, basically all the subtle desires and all will continue in the next life also. Okay, because the subtle body is same. So the soul and subtle body go to the next life, and the gross body remains here. So this is science of transmigration, the process of transmigration. Okay. It's a very important concept to understand. One should very thoroughly
Prabhuji,
understand.
like you told, he will have the same traits, no, Prabhuji. Say suppose a person at the time of death he'll remember some dog, so he'll get a dog body. So how can a dog have sinful traits? What are the animals?
Yeah, means what
sin they can do?
Yeah, you see, in the human body, he cultivated the desires of a dog. So he became a dog. So he will continue having the desires of a dog. Okay, he will eat all dirty things. He will do bow barking. Okay, and he will run behind other female dogs. So that traits of the desires will be fulfilled in that dog's body. So the desires, because he desired to be desired like a dog, he became a dog. And after that life is over, he has extinguished his desires, so he'll go to the next body. Based on what unfulfilled desires are still there in the subtle body, he'll go to the next body.
Say suppose now Kali Yuga will end and Satya Yuga should start. Is there a gap between them or will it go on?
Yeah, there is a transition time of 10,000 years, which is called Yuga Sandhya. Like we have 3 Sandhyas, morning, afternoon, evening. Like now it's evening time. There's a transition time. Slowly light is getting dim and darkness is taking over. So similarly, between the Yuga Sandhya also there is a time, which is generally 10,000 years. So that Sandhya time is a time when transition happens. Now Kali Yuga also, it's transition time going on now. Okay, it has not fully begun. So Ghor Kali Yuga will begin soon after the transition is over. So this time is called Yuga Sandhya.
So will it be in every yuga or only after Kali Yuga to trade?
In every yuga there is a transition time. That's called Yuga Sandhya.
For everything, it's like 10,000 or it will depend.
Yeah, generally it's a 10% of that yuga time. That's transition time. Okay. 10% of the yuga's time. That's transition time. Okay. The another question, Rakesh, probably if a person do yajnas, will he go for heavenly planet? It depends upon what desire he is having. With what desire he is doing yajna. If he is doing yajna to please Lord Vishnu, then that's bhakti. So he will go to Vishnu Loka. But if he is doing that with the desire to get something in return, oh, I want wealth, I want money, I want prestige and name, fame, then he will get that. He may go to heaven also. It depends upon the intention with which he is doing the yajna. Okay. Now, Chetan is asking, how many souls reside in one's body? Generally, we have one soul. One body has one soul. But it may have many other souls residing as tenants. Like if you have a home, in some people, they build a home and they have some rented places also. They give for rent, tenants stay there. But owner is one, but he is allowing others to stay. Similarly, the owner of this body is one soul, which is me. And there may be some bacteria, some viruses, some other insects and worms in the body, which may have taken shelter. But the main soul is taking control of the whole body. So generally one soul is the owner of one body. I hope that answers the question. And then Srinivas is asking, how to see whatever happens is happening to us. How to see whatever things is happening to us. Yeah. So generally what happens to us is our destiny. based on what choices we have made in the past, the karma is coming to us. If something good is happening, we have to understand that, oh, in the past I had done some good activities, pious activities, so good is coming to me. If some bad is happening, it means that I have done some sinful activities in the past. Because of that, bad reactions or sufferings are coming in my life. So that's how we should see. So we should not get affected too much by that situation. But when that situation comes, difficulties come generally. When the difficulties come, one should try to remember Krishna more. By remembering Krishna, the difficulties will become easy to cross over. Otherwise, they become more and more difficult. If you try to fight with the difficulties without remembering Krishna, then the fight is very tough. So one should try to remember Krishna and then fight. Ma manusmara yudhyasha. Kaurava Sainya Sagaram. Arjuna was thinking, how can I cross over this ocean of Kaurava army? Krishna said, Ma manusmara yudhyasha. Think of me and fight. You'll win. So similarly, we should also think about Krishna and then do our duties and face the difficulties. Krishna will give us the strength to overcome them. Okay, I hope I answered the question of Srinivas. If something more is there, you can ask.
Yes, Prabhu. And how to take off mental health, like in these situations?
Yeah, so generally mental health deteriorates when you get too much tension because of the situation which is around us. So that mental health can be really maintained by understanding that Krishna is in control. Yeah, we do our best to solve the situation, but you have to also understand that Krishna is in control. When you understand Krishna is in control, then you'll be peaceful. Bhaktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. When you understand that Krishna is in control, so then you will be peaceful. Then your mental health will be maintained. But if you if you become too disturbed by that situation, then one will get into anxiety, depression, stress, and then one will spoil his physical as well as mental health also. So one should depend on Krishna, higher powers. Okay, but when you try to take full charge of the situation without depending on Krishna, then tension comes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Rakesh.
Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita, in 8th chapter, 3rd shloka, like it is given that if a person performs rituals like for desiring material things, he goes to heavenly planets, and after that he'll become clouds and come back to earth, and again from earth to he goes to grains and men to cement. Like that it is given, Prabhu. Is it true, Prabhu?
Yes. Yeah. So generally with the souls, when they go to heaven, from there they come down through rains. And through rains, they go to grains. And when man consumes grains, the soul particle enters into the semen. So semen, every drop of semen has got many sperms. So each sperm has got a soul. So, and it has got the potency to produce another child. So semen is a very vital part of the body, vital fluid of the body. So one should preserve it. Generally 60 to 80 drops of blood makes 1 drop of semen, and the semen can give life. So semen can give life when one has sexual intercourse, then it can produce a child. But it should be used only to produce a child, not wasted. So, and if it is preserved in the body, semen is again absorbed in the body, and it produces good health, good memory, good confidence, willpower, concentration, decision-making capacity, and the glow in the face. Everything improves by preserving semen. So one should conserve semen and not waste semen. And those who are grahasthas, family men, they can use this for producing Krishna conscious child. So that's why one should not waste it. So it's called sinful activity to waste semen. But that's true. That's mentioned in Shastra. Okay. So Chaitanya is asking, is one soul is supreme in one's body? After the supreme soul goes out of the body, why other souls reside in the body also die? It's symbiotic relationship. Like for example, if the tree is there, on the tree some birds are there and some insects are there. But when you cut the tree, the birds have to move to another body, another tree. Similarly, the main body is there, main soul is there. So once the soul goes, the body starts decaying, it starts decomposing, and it becomes mud, right, after some time. So, and then the souls seek shelter of another body, isn't it? So souls also have their body. Okay, according to the karma, they have a microbe body or an insect body or a worm body. So, and they also die, and they get another body according to their karma. So every soul is getting changing bodies according to their karma. So what lesson we can learn from this? Okay, now I got human body, I should not become animal again. I should not become a worm in the stool. I should not become a bird. Let me become a devotee and go back to Vaikuntha so that I never get another body again. So that should be the goal of a devotee. Now, let me chant Hare Krishna. Let me purify my heart in such a way that no more birth again. Let me go back to God. That should be the goal of a devotee. Okay, Chetan. Okay, so it was wonderful having the session after a gap of 2 weeks. So we'll continue this regularly now. So it's already 6:34. So I think we'll end here today. So please continue chanting Hare Krishna. Please remember the wonderful gifts Srila Prabhupada has given to us. And then continue your spiritual life. Be in touch with your mentors. And in this way, we'll together advance in bhakti. Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.